Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to our special session on sustainability, development, and global leaders' responsibility. And today is the third episode of this series. And let me give you a brief introduction of what exactly we are doing and what is our objectives behind organizing the conference on sustainability and why this initiative was taken in association with ACE International Singapore, Resolve Asia, Malaysia, and the brand GEL India. Let me share my screen so that you all can have a look on our objectives and what exactly is our plan regarding this conference.
Get ready for an event that celebrates innovation, leadership, and sustainable development on a global scale. We are honored to have Her Excellency Laila Rahul Al-Thani as our esteemed guest of honor. Featuring inspiring keynote speeches from leaders in the field of sustainable development. Introducing our student panel discussion and school award for sustainable development. Join us as we recognize excellence across multiple categories. Nominations are now open. Don't miss this chance to honor those making a difference.
So sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. How many of you agree with this? Please raise up your hands. Yes, I know Alka ma'am is going to agree. Thank you very much. This conference is going to be organized by EduFam International Academy that is run by EduFam Training Services UAE. And our support partners are ACE International Singapore and Resolve Asia Malaysia. Our media partner is Brand Girls India. The conference objective is to promote sustainable development goals, and then we have to foster the global leadership, encourage the leaders to champion sustainable practices, share best practices that's going on in different countries, and also to have networking and collaboration with the global leaders and recognize the excellence, those who have done even a little contribution in the field of sustainability, they are going to be awarded and they are going to be recognized. So as our guest of honor, Her Highness Sheikh Laila has consented to be the guest of honor, and Dr. B. Ramanathan, I, Dr. Halima Sadia, Mr. Nara Subramaniam, Dr. Aftab Ahmed from UAE are going to be with us in this endeavor, and Dr. Kabali, Dr. Alka Chadda, those who are the eminent speakers for this evening are also going to join hands with us. And there are almost people from 25 countries who are going to be with us in this. Now you all must be thinking that how you can collaborate with us. So there are different means and ways. I'm going to elaborate very briefly about that. So you can join hands in this endeavor either by being the speaker in this conference or by being the delegate of this conference or by being the awardee of this conference or by being the well-wisher of this conference. This conference is in hybrid mode, virtual and physical in Dubai, Al Bustan Hotel in Dubai. If you are interested, so today is the last day of early bird offer. You please show your interest and join hands with us. After that, we are going to have the regular conference fee. There is no fees for the award or for the speaker slot. Only a very nominal fees that is called the venue charge of the conference will be charged from the participants, whether you are the a delegate or you are a speaker or awardee or in whatever capacity or as a sponsor you are attending, whatever capacity you are attending, you will be paying that venue charge that is very, very nominal charge. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for showing interest and being with us this evening. Let me invite the first speaker of this evening. She is Dr. Alka Chadda. Dr. Alka Chadda, by name, you all can see that she is a doctor by profession and she is a great speaker. She is a motivational speaker, happiness coach. She is an NLP coach. She is thought leader. She is emotional intelligent leader and whatnot. You name anything and she is there. Dr. Alka Chadda, We welcome you from the bottom of our heart on behalf of EduFam International Academy. And give a big round of applause to Dr. Alka Chadda. And Dr. Alka, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Halima. It's always a pleasure to be on the platforms that you create. And you are doing such wonderful work, Dr. Ram and Dr. Halima, and all of you. I'm meeting you after many days, but it feels like home when I'm on this platform. I love the way you reach out to the community, and I love your goals, and I love the work that you're doing. And congratulations to both of you, ACE International, Dr. Ram, Dr. Halima, and for the wonderful work that you're doing. So I'm mostly an emotional intelligence person, and I go by feelings. And here, when I come on this platform, I feel very happy. I feel very happy. I feel very proud that I'm a friend of a celebrity like Halima and Dr. Halima and Dr. Ram. And I feel very good to be in the proximity of leaders like you. You've done a great lot of work, and now this coming to the sustainability. I have a friend, she writes books, and she's written a book on. Talking to her this morning, I told her that I have to speak on a sustainability conference. And what do you think I should be talking about? She reminded me that she's written a book on 14 herbs, green colored vegetables, which are there in her book, which were written by her grandmother and which were written by her great grandmother. That those 14 herbs, if you eat, no, you become very healthy. The 14 leaves they are called green leaves. Today we find that we are hardly come down to 14 or 15 of them. I mean, 4 or 5 of them. And then actually, we are eating only that methi and we are eating only palak. And she was telling me how she writes books to reach out to the students and how she goes to the mentors, the college students, and the students in the schools to teach them about sustainability. Sustainability is not a problem of the government. It's not a problem of the corporates. It's each one of us has to take part in it, has to reach out to the world and do your little bit. So as I was talking to my kids and they were listening to me, I was telling them that it is a very uncertain world. We have all gone through the pandemic and we all know what we have gone through the pandemic. We have gone through a lot of change in our lives and we know how to live with minimum. We know that the stacks of clothes lying in our cupboards are of no use when we cannot go out of the house. So when we know the uncertainty is going to come in our life, we better prepare for it. We prepare for it, and we've learned to adapt also. How did we adapt to the situations in our life that were down when they took us down? How did we adapt? We adapted by getting together. We adapted with our families by sitting together, by working together. The whole family was working. Our health improved. We were not eating from outside. We were eating our home foods. We were eating the food cooked by each one of us. But is one thing that I want to tell to everyone is the junk food today is taking us away. It is taking us into away from sustainability. What we are eating is actually spoiling our mind, it's spoiling our body, it is spoiling our soul. So it's high time we think about what we are eating. Are we eating are we eating the natural food or not? And the pandemic has actually shown us that when we ate home food, we lost weight and we improved in our health. We got more nutrition, we got more nutrients. We were exercising more. And because of that, our health improved. Not only our physical health improved, but our mental health also improved. The other reason about sustainability is to get together, to be with people, to be in proximity with people. People are our strength and people are our assets. We're not islands that we can stay alone. No, no way. None of us can stay alone. We got to be with people. So if we want to attack the big tower of sustainability, we got to do it together. We got to come together. We got to collaborate. What Dr. Halima is doing, what Dr. Ram is doing, excellent work. That is collaboration, coming together, having good friendships together, and doing the work together. As our students, as I meet students in the colleges, I also meet them. And when we talk about sustainability, the little ones are very smart. The undergraduate ones, the college, the school ones are very, very smart. And when I ask them this question, that there is so much of things happening in the world, what can you do? What is a little bit that you can do that you can help the world to have a better future? And the little ones always come and tell me that I will put off the tap, I will close the tap, I will not allow the water to waste. They always come and tell me, I will eat the mummy cooked food and I will not waste food. See, the children today are being pampered so much that we're giving them too much of food in their plates and they're not finishing the food, and we are treating them with so much of love and affection that all the food is getting wasted. We have to teach our children, take that much of food, what is required for you to eat, and do not waste the food. Water. I remember I have gone to so many times from our college, from the medical college, we have gone to places where there were droughts. And once I remember that we had taken tankers, we used to take tankers of water. And we used to put it in glasses and we used to pour it in the mouth of the children and the people who were sitting there like this with the open mouth. And I remember there were three or four children still remaining, and there was hardly a bottle of water left with us. And we were pouring it into their mouth. And last but not the least, the child, who was the last child, got only this much of water. When I see that water is being wasted, I really feel very bad. So it's an effort for all of us to come together and to save the water. If you find that some tap is dripping, don't ignore it. That little drip which become into a lot of liters of water. So if you can hear or you can see something dripping, it's our duty to take care of it, to get repaired, to repair it. What about electricity? We find so much of electricity is being wasted in lighting, in decorating, marriage, weddings, programs, entertainment, media. We are wasting a lot of electricity. At home, the little ones always tell me, Ma'am, I will switch off the light when I go out of the room. Ma'am, I will switch off the fan when I'll go out of the room. And not to forget the air conditioner. I will switch off the air conditioner. Today we have children, we have so much of poverty in our own country. They don't have even fans and they don't even have any light in their house, some of them. So it's our duty to take care of the light and not to waste the light. But what about the light that you have inside of yourself? I always ask the students, what can you do with the light that you have inside of you? That light can be used to light up the world. If you have a smile on your face, you can bring a smile on the person who's opposite in front of you. You can bring a smile on the people who are in front of you. You can change the environment by smiling. You can be negative and you can be cribbing and you can be grumbling and you can be having a negative mindset and you can create all kinds of things which will not help you to grow in your life. If we have to help our future generations to grow and to sustain themselves in this changing world, they have to learn to adapt. And they can adapt. Number one is by reaching out to people, by having a happy mindset, by having a growth mindset, by not dwelling on a particular thing and reacting to things. It's our duty to tell our children, okay, you can't move forward in this particular thing, leave it, go to the next one, move forward over there. Someone said something rude to you, it's okay. Everybody is not going to be nice to you. Today, I find the youngsters, they break down to the drop of a hat. There's so much of stress and so much of anxiety happening among the children today that this little bit someone tells you something and you sit down and you don't do any work and you lose your productivity and your performance. Not to get affected by little things in your life. You got to build yourself up. You got to have the belief in your own self, the light in your own self. You are a lighthouse and you move forward with that light, helping yourself and helping the world to follow you. Each one of the youngsters today is a leader, and that is our duty to make them feel like that. I remember I was made to feel like that as a young girl. My father told me, "You are Jhansi ki Rani." And I always, whenever I was stuck in my life, I always thought about this sentence that, yes, I am Jhansi ki Rani. Jhansi ki Rani is not going to behave like this. Jhansi ki Rani is not going to cry. She is not going to feel low. She is going to be brave and bold and go to the field and fight with the enemy. And I always tell this to the students in my life also that you are brave, you are bold, you are beautiful. Just keep moving forward. Today we are conditioning our own self. We are sabotaging our own self. We are telling to our own selves, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, this is difficult, that is difficult. But let someone tell you that. If someone tells you that you can't achieve this dream, if someone tells you this dream is very big, you got to tell them, give me three reasons that I can achieve my dream. Give me three reasons that I should go for it. If someone puts you down, don't listen to them. You question them back that give me one or two reasons that how I can move forward with this and why should I not move forward with this. So these are some of the things that I can remember right now. And always be like flexible in your life. When you're flexible in your life, whenever you are stuck up in your life, ask yourself four questions. What are these four questions? Am I flexible or am I being rigid like a mountain? Am I flexible like water? So water is one thing we save, and water teaches us a lot of things. Water teaches us to be nutritious, to be nourishing, to bring beauty wherever it goes. Water brings greenery wherever it goes. It brings beauty and fertility wherever it goes. So ask yourself this question: am I giving or I'm only receiving? We are not here to receive. We are here to contribute. We are here to give. God has blessed us with so much, and we are here to give. Are you planting a tree in your nearby house? Are you bringing in more oxygen to this world? Are you breathing carbon dioxide or are you breathing more oxygen? It's each one of us duty to bring in oxygen into this world by planting more trees. Take part in whatever campaigns you have near your house so that you can be a part of planting more trees, creating a forest inside near your house so that you can benefit from that and even other people can benefit from that. What else does water do? Water goes from higher to lower. It is having no ego. If we can break our ego, if we can slash our ego, we can find our way very, very beautifully. If you are stuck, no, always think about this question: am I being very arrogant? And think, if I'm being arrogant, then go within yourself, close your eyes, and ask yourself, can I turn this to a beautiful action by slashing my ego? And let me tell you, friends, the minute we slash our ego, we are able to do that particular thing by slashing our ego, by coming in terms with that situation. Actually adapting to the situation is very, very easy if we are flexible, if we are egoless, and if we have patience. Patience is another virtue. If we can have, we can go over any problem in our life. And if you understand what I'm telling, why does the water cut through the stone? The water cuts through the stone because it gently breaks through the stone, very, very gently. But it takes many, many years to break through the stone. But because of its flexibility and gentleness, it doesn't use force, it doesn't use too much of effort. It's gently flowing through that. So, friends, I want to tell you that as a person, when you find that somebody is very arrogant in your life, somebody is troubling you in your life, somebody is not listening to you, not agreeing to you, just try to come down to their level and very slowly, gently, flexibly, with love and affection in your heart, it's easy to come across to that person and pierce his heart with your love and affection. I can think about these things of sustainability. The more happier you are, and happiness, my friends, is a decision that we make every moment. Happiness is a habit that we can create. Just like unhappiness is a habit you can create by grumbling, by whining, by complaining. Similarly, happiness is a habit you can create by being happy, by looking at the positive side of life. I'm not saying that you will not get upset. There are a million things happening in this world. You know that. We all know that. There are thousands and thousands of things which are happening, which are going to upset us, which are going to trouble us, which are going to trigger us. But that doesn't mean that we go down that pit. It's very easy to go spirally down that pit, down, down, down. But I would say, think about the situation. Think about what the other person is telling. Think about something, what is positive about the other person is telling, and then see if you can adapt to that. And come back to normal. Resilience is a very important thing. You can be unhappy for a little bit of a time. I know that we are getting upset with so many things in our life. Somebody speaks rudely to us, we get upset. Somebody insults us, we get upset. But we cannot expect everyone to behave like we want them to behave. We cannot expect everyone to behave like it is we can't control anybody else's behavior, or that we can't expect them to agree with us to everything that we say. So my message to everybody would be, it's okay to disagree. We are living in a resonance addiction world today. Everybody should listen to us. Everybody should agree with us. No, not at all. Not necessary. I say what I want to say, but we agreeably disagree and amicably disagree. It's okay. Even two people, when they get married, they're having different opinions. So that doesn't mean that they have a conflict all the time. No. But we should respect the other person's opinion, listen to the other person's opinion. You may agree, you may not agree, that is okay. But bounce back to normal is the criteria for being a happy person, for being an adaptable person. So I would say reach out to people, reach out to help, take help from people, talk to people, share your feelings with people if you're stuck up. Be playful in your mindset. Don't be very serious in your mindset. Be little playful. See the little children, how they're playing a play of, even a game of peekaboo. You have seen that TED speech by a little girl of 9 years, how she says, a game of peekaboo can change your world. I'm saying, don't be very serious about your life. Be playful. Have fun in your life. And when you include the fun element in your life, your immunity becomes better. The stress becomes less. The depression becomes less, the anxiety and the stress becomes less. And that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much, Halima ma'am, for this opportunity. And I hand over the mic to you, the platform to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A big wow from me. Yes, all my friends, please give a big round of applause to Dr. Alka Chadda, who has
Thank you
given
very
us a
much.
beautiful message that be like a child and be happy. Thank you.